For decades, Africans in the diaspora have played by the rules, pursuing degrees, securing well-paying jobs, and climbing the corporate ladder. Many have succeeded in achieving personal stability. Yet, as they approach or surpass the age of 50, a harsh reality emerges. Most remain employees, still dependent on corporations led by other ethnic groups, still celebrating the endeavors of others while failing to invest in their own. This is not just an economic issue, it is a generational crisis. Who will employ our children and grandchildren? If we do not create our own ecosystems, the answer remains the same: someone else. If we do not fund our own incubators, innovators, and visionaries, we will remain consumers of another people's economy. The cycle is clear. We work hard. We buy homes, cars, and status symbols. We accumulate debt, sometimes manageable, sometimes crippling. We hope to retire, yet constantly fear being laid off before that moment comes. And in the end, our communities remain dependent rather than self-sustaining. Entrepreneurship is the foundation of every strong economy, but it has two wings: product-based entrepreneurship, which involves selling goods, retail and trade, and service-based entrepreneurship, which includes consulting, knowledge-based businesses, and intellectual property. Africans have largely focused on low-hanging product-based entrepreneurship, buying and selling goods, small-scale trade, and quick cash circulation. While this has value, it alone cannot create economic dominance. The future belongs to service-based entrepreneurship, consulting, intellectual capital, and high-value skills. The most powerful economies in the world are not just selling products, they are selling systems, knowledge, and expertise. Tech firms are valued in billions, not because of their hardware, but because of their software and services. Financial firms do not make their money from physical products, but from advisory, investment, and consulting services. The legal and healthcare industries thrive because people pay for expertise, not just objects. The African diaspora must transition from low-value trade into intellectual and service-based business models. Instead of just importing and selling goods, we should be offering expertise in supply chain management. Instead of just buying real estate, we should be leading in real estate consultancy, financing, and investment advisory. Instead of just developing software, we should be at the forefront of AI ethics, cybersecurity consulting, and data privacy law. This is how wealth circulates. This is how an economy grows. Yet we continue to leave this space for others. The hard truth: 99% of Africans in the diaspora are debtors. Some manage it wisely while others are drowning. But even for the financially disciplined, debt without wealth building is a slow trap. Debt is only a good debt if it funds an asset that brings economic returns. Buying a luxury car is not wealth building. Owning rental property with no financial safety net is not economic power. Yet, in the African community, we often hesitate when it comes to investing in people, ideas, and innovation. We'll borrow to buy a house. We'll borrow to buy a new car. We'll take on massive debt for education. But when a promising entrepreneur or innovator asks for funding, the answer is hesitation, skepticism, and avoidance. Who do we think built Apple, Tesla, Amazon, and Google? Not just the founders, but the investors who believed in them before the world did. What happens when the system we rely on decides it no longer needs us? Many Africans in their 50s live with constant fear of being laid off. Decades of dedication to a company, and yet their future remains in someone else's hands. How can an entire generation of educated, experienced professionals still be living in such uncertainty? Because they never built anything beyond personal wealth. Because they never funded their own visionaries. Because they played it safe instead of playing to win. Building an African workforce for the future. If we do not create businesses that absorb university graduates, who will? If we do not establish service-based industries where our own people become consultants, who will? If we do not build an ecosystem that funds African ideas, the next generation will once again be stuck in the same cycle, going to school, getting degrees, and entering job markets where they will always be outsiders. Competing for opportunities in industries they could have built themselves, living in uncertainty, always afraid of losing financial security. This is not an issue of individual effort. It is a systemic failure to invest in ourselves. In the age of AI and automation, economic power will not come from working hard in someone else's system. It will come from owning and leading in the industries that shape the future. The question is, will Africans be leaders in this transformation? Or will we continue waiting for permission to participate? Many of the world's greatest companies started with small but strategic investments. DeepSeek did not need OpenAI's budget to become a powerhouse. It needed believers. The same is true for us. Transformation does not require billions. It requires discipline, vision, and the courage to bet on our own. The real question is, who among us will step up before the world catches on? We are not lacking in intelligence, drive, or talent. What we lack is a commitment to investing in our own ecosystem before it is too late. When history looks back on this generation of Africans in the diaspora, what will it say? Will it say we built something greater, or that we simply maintained what was given? The choice is ours, and the time to act is now.